My name is Josh van Valkenburg-Gernert. I'm here with Bailey Johnson of Hardrocker Women's Basketball. Thanks for joining us today, Bailey. First up, just getting started, let's talk a little bit about, what your life was like growing up. I know you're from here in Rapid City. What kind of initially got you into sports?
Yes, so I grew up in Rapid City. I was born and raised here. I grew up with two older brothers, so I guess that was always my reasoning to get into sports. It was always competitive with them, and we'd play basketball. One brother played football, and then the other one played basketball. So it was always a competitiveness between the family, and they kind of beat up on me, and that's where I get my toughness from, is my brothers. So.
Sure, and what else did you play, growing up? I know you, in high school at least, I think you played volleyball too.
Yes.
But early on, what else did you play?
I was mostly just basketball, and then I got into volleyball.
Okay.
Played in high school, and then I got into track as well. That was like middle school, and then it transferred into high school. In middle school, I was kind of like more of a sprinter, and then in high school, I was a jumper and a triple jumper. And then in 8th grade, I actually got to go to the high school state track meet, and I placed as an 8th grader.
Wow.
So that was really cool.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
What event did you place in?
It was triple jump.
Okay.
Yes.
And then that you pretty much continued jumping throughout your high school career?
Yep.
So you
Yep.
were a three-sport athlete pretty much whole
Yep.
time?
Yep.
Even, were you doing club basketball too at the same time?
My senior year, I did club basketball at AAU, and we would have to drive. It's like 6 hours every weekend to go to practice for basketball. So.
Yeah, that's a lot of time,
Yes.
especially being a three-sport athlete and doing
Yeah.
club. And you went to Rapid City Central, right?
Yep.
What was your experience like there? You mentioned obviously you were a placer in state and track. Did you have any other? How were you guys at basketball? Any individual accomplishments, and then volleyball as well?
Yeah. So basketball was definitely like top tier sport, and then also track. Our volleyball team, it was just kind of gave me something else to do. We weren't the best, but it still got me active, and I think basketball, my freshman and sophomore year was definitely the best years for us. As a sophomore, we went to state. We went to state all 4 years, but sophomore year, I believe we placed 4th, and then my junior year and senior year, we still went to the state tournament, but didn't place as well. My senior year, we weren't the best team, but we still made it, and I still remember that game to get to state, and we had gone to somewhere else, and I remember the gym was just full of their fans, and I just remember like my mom and dad were there, and a couple other of our parents were there, but it was like such a big difference between the fans, and we were not supposed to win at all. We ended up going into overtime, and we ended up winning, and that was just like the greatest feeling because it was my senior year, and the other team actually had like cupcakes pre-made that said like going to the state tournament and everything. So that was pretty cool to just prove them wrong, and anything can happen. Like.
Yeah, so you wound up playing in state that year.
Yes.
Where did you play, and did you win any games once you got to state?
We did not win any games, and I believe my senior year it was in Rapid, so that was nice. We had a lot of fans, so yeah.
And then after that, you went the junior college route. When did you start realizing that college basketball was kind of something you were interested in and maybe an option as well?
Yeah. So it was definitely my senior year that I realized I could go on, and I had a previous teammate that had gone to Casper College, and she had kind of talked to the coach about me, and I started talking to the coach. I went on a visit. I absolutely loved Casper College as a basketball program. They were very, very successful. Probably the best coach I've ever been coached by, and I would not be the player I was today without him. He was very defensive, very defensive guy, and so he pretty much told the team, like, if you want to play, you have to be good at defense. So I give all my props to him for teaching me like all the defensive stuff that I know, and that's pretty much what my role is on the basketball team here is lockdown D. So yeah, best program ever at Casper College. Yeah, nationally ranked there as a D1 JUCO, and I'm so glad that I'm a JUCO product.
And you were there 2 years, right? But you were only able to play one.
Yep. So my sophomore year, it was the beginning of the season, and during a game, I lost the ball, dove for it, and another girl came at me and tore my labrum. So.
What was it like, kind of, I guess, having that happen? What was it like to get through that? And then, obviously, I'm sure that kind of, at that point, you were probably already trying to go to a 4-year. What did that kind of do to your recruiting process?
So I was actually recruited already before that injury happened. But I did not want to accept that I was hurt at all. I remember us doing like evals after the game, after that happened, and I just did not want to accept that like it was hurt or anything. I was like, it had to have like hurt more or something for it to actually be such a serious injury. And my trainer there, she kind of was like, she knew that I wasn't gonna give up, so she was like, okay, you can play one more game. And that's when I realized I was down on the block and I was trying to post up, and the girl got my arm, and I started crying instantly. It was just, I knew. So it was hard. And that was my sophomore year, and we had a very good team. And again, we were very successful, but I mean, it's hard being on the sideline when you're that successful as a team, but you just got to keep going through it. And I think it made me stronger as a person, and yeah.
You mentioned you were kind of already recruited at that point. Did you kind of know you wanted to get back to Rapid, or what brought you back to South Dakota Mines?
Yeah, so I always did know I wanted to come back to Rapid. My whole family's engineers, pretty much. So my dad, my brother, my grandpa, my half-brother is also a graduate from School of Mines, so I always knew that I wanted to come back. I didn't know what type of engineer I wanted to be. I started out as a civil engineer, and then I came up on my visit, and I went through the whole tour, and I was like, civil is not for me. And then my dad is really good friends with Dr. Kirk here, and so he had Dr. Kirk talk to me, and Dr. Kirk sold me on industrial engineering.
I think he kind of does that for everybody.
Yes.
So what was kind of, obviously you got hurt early in your sophomore year, then your first year here would have been the COVID year, right? Mm-hmm. So what was it like to go through such a gap without basketball? You probably hadn't had that in a long time.
Yeah, I've never had that. And I guess it's kind of like a blur for me now, but it was definitely tough, and I went through a lot. And then coming to COVID, we didn't start playing until November or so it was a lot of gym time, which is probably good for me, so I was kind of warmed up to the game again. But again, it's hard coming into a new team, and it was me and another teammate from Casper. We came together, so there was a little bit of conflict with that, just us coming from such a successful program. And so yeah, it was hard, but the seniors then were great, and just like the leaders on that team, and they brought us in, and yeah.
Yeah, so what was your transition like to then go from, just from a 2-year to a 4-year? I know the basketball style is a little different and everything.
Yeah, it's a lot different. JUCO is a lot, I would say, more aggressive and like tough. You just like play through everything. And whereas a 4-year college is more like structured and kind of like not slower pace, but like slow it down and like let's run these plays. And it's so I guess that's like the difference is I came from like grit and like dirty basketball to like more structured and like laid out.
Sure, and then also you were one of the younger people on the team that first year to now.
Yeah.
It's a pretty young team, and outside of you and Naomi, you're pretty much, I think, the only upperclassman. So what has that kind of transition been like to go from, I guess, from that to becoming maybe one of the leaders?
I can give my kudos to when I came in, those leaders. They kind of showed me, how they run it here. And so you just got to keep that tradition and keep it going. I always struggled with like the way I thought when I came here, and comparing myself to others. And so I try and tell like our freshmen and stuff, like, you just gotta like focus, like brush it off. Like, who cares, just, so I wanna be that type of leader. And then I also lead by example. So I just go hard in practice, and I want them to get better. And so I push them, and maybe they don't like me during practice, but after practice, and I know once they get older, they're gonna appreciate that, so.
Yeah, and I know you guys, at least for sure last year, I'm not as familiar with the team this year, but I know you were a pretty tight-knit group. Obviously, you and Ryan were super tight.
Yes.
What has that kind of been like to forge, I guess, all those new relationships with the freshmen this year?
Yeah, it wasn't hard at all. Our freshman class is super talkative. They're super friendly. We have such an amazing bond with all of them. And I mean, me being 23 and them being 18, like, it feels like we're the same age. So I think that's awesome about our team is our friendship is like lifelong after this. And that's what I really love about this team this year. And even last year, like, we were all close, and it's just an amazing team, so.
And then looking back to kind of when you first got here, I know that was kind of early in the current coaching staff's tenure to what the program looks like now. What are some of those differences, and what do you think are some of the things that, going forward are going to be really special about the program?
Yeah, so I believe that our coaches do a great job with relationships, and they want what's best for us in the long run. And I think that's what's very special about our coaching staff here is they set us up for real life. And they show us that every day could be hard. Like, some days can be really mentally tough on you, but you just got to keep going, and you got to work through it. And at the end of the day, you just got to know that why they're being so hard on us at that moment is because that they know that we can be better, and we are better for ourselves and for our team. So that's what I really like about them.
Switching gears a little bit, I know you've been involved in some campus stuff that isn't basketball. What have you kind of done, in the community, even as part of the program, volunteer-wise?
Yeah. I guess I am a part of Alpha Pi Mu. I'm the president for Alpha Pi Mu, and that's the Industrial Engineering Honor Society. Dr. Kirk runs that. And so something we're doing this year is be the donor. And so one of our alumni, he used to play football. He has leukemia, I believe. And so we're gonna do this program that's at School of Mines to be the match, and we're gonna help run that and everything. And it turns out that they are actually my scholarship donors. So it's like really like small world. And then their family's actually very close with my family. So it's very special to me to help out with that, and because I know that they're such a great family, and they have a couple little kids. So that's what we really are focused on this year, and we want to help out with him.
So has that program started already, or how can people go ahead and donate to that?
Yeah, so they're coming in like a month or two. It's a whole program that will come. We're looking for between college student. They want college students pretty much, but the age gap is between like 18 and like 40. All you have to do is come. I don't know the details,
Sure.
Everything, but all you have to do is do a mouth swab, and that's pretty much it. And they'll take your DNA and test it and everything, and then you'll be in their system in case you are a match for anything else. It's a bone marrow transplant, I believe. So there will be more details on that.
Obviously, keep in touch for those.
Yes.
And then academically, obviously you're going into you're going to graduate this May. Talk a little bit about what your academic experience has been like in your major, and then some of your internships as well.
Yes. So I could not be more grateful for my professors in the industrial engineering department. They have been like awesome to me, and working with my basketball schedule and everything, they help out and work with me with my crazy schedule. So thank you to them. My first internship was this past summer. I went to Tucson and I worked for Raytheon Missiles and Defense. So I was an industrial engineering intern for them. And we did a lot of data analysis and stuff on some of the missiles. I was mostly on the defense missile side. So these are the missiles that shoot down the other missiles coming at us. So that was pretty cool to be in their factories and stuff and see the actual missile be made. That was just amazing, and I can't explain everything. I'm not allowed to, but it's just mind-blowing, like the stuff that they do there. And the team that I worked with was amazing, and made me realize that I am really excited about being an industrial engineer in the future. So after that, I came this year. I went to the career fair and I talked to Abbott. It's a medical device company, and they are based in Minneapolis. But I told them I wanted to be in Arizona, and so he helped me get connected with the Abbott laboratories in Scottsdale, Arizona. And my first interview, she asked me if I wanted to be a part of their team, so I said yes, and I'm moving to Scottsdale in June.
So what was it about Arizona specifically that you liked? Was it the weather or what else?
So yeah, I do love the weather, even though it's really hot. My brother actually left Rapid and went to Arizona first, and he was kind of the first one out of our family to spread his wings and get out of here. So when I first went and visited him, I fell in love with Arizona, and I just knew I belonged there, and so I'm super excited to be moving there.
So just the last couple questions then, kind of going back to the basketball side. What are some of your goals, individually or as a team for the rest of the year?
Yeah, as a team, we just want to end strong. We've been working our butts off in practice, preseason, and everything. And these past couple of years our record has not shown that. And that's what's frustrating, is we work our butts off and it just does not go our way. So we just want to end strong is what we want as a team. Just focus on the next game and everything. Individually, I want to end strong as well. I mean, I want to leave this team better than I found it, and just set our future, or our younger ones, up for success in the future. So the seasons don't go as they have been, because they deserve that, and they deserve the world, and they deserve that winning record. So
looking back at your time here, all the things you've done, what do you think is the one thing you'll look back on in 5 years, 10 years that you're most proud of, or that was your fondest memory?
Yeah, definitely the relationships I have with my teammates, my friends now. It's an amazing bond that I have never had before, and thanks to basketball I have that now, and these are friends that our kids will know each other, they will be in our weddings, like everything, and that's the memory I'm going to keep. And talking to past basketball players and alumni, that's what they remember. They don't remember the games, they don't remember the records or anything. They remember their teammates and the relationships that they have, and so that's what I'm going to keep close to my heart. Right now, it's towards the end of my basketball career where I've done my time, and I'm going to still go hard and everything, but at the end of the day, I'm going to look back and just thank everybody who has been a part of my basketball career and all my teammates that have made me better and set me up for my future self. So,
what would you tell a potential incoming recruit about South Dakota Mines?
It's going to be hard. You're going to have hard days. School's going to suck sometimes. Exams are going to suck. But at the end of the day, you have people that are there going through the same stuff as you are, and you're all are in the same boat. You just got to lean on each other, and you will get through it. And this is the reason why those people want to hire you later in your life. They know what you go through, all the hardships you go through, all the time management you go through, and I think that's what I would tell them is stick it through because the paycheck's going to be nice in the end.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, Bailey. Good luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.